So this video is about the Immortal Men. In my previous videos, I've always said that the Immortal Men is good. Nothing special, but you could do worse. But it's just average. I completely changed my mind after reading issues 4 and 5. It's changed my opinion on the whole series as a whole. It's really good. The Immortal Men is basically the Matrix meets X-Men. And James Tynion the Fourth actually does a Matrix kind of shout out. He makes a Matrix reference in one of the issues, which I was like, oh, okay, at least you're self-aware about it. But my big problem about the Immortal Men was James Tynion IV's writing. I feel like he gets these very grandiose ideas. He wants to tell these very large, sweeping stories, and he kind of gets lost in the weeds while telling it. And I see this still. He spends there's a lot of fucking text. It's like you're reading a novel at a certain point sometimes. There's a lot of text. 4 and 5 was significantly more action and story focused, but the story was focused on the action, and the story was moved with the actions of the characters. So there wasn't a lot of just explanatory text, which I guess you had to do with a property like this. But at issue 3, I felt in particular just had way too much of it. And that's why a lot of I got really negative on this after I had read issue 3. But you have 5 characters. Ghostfire, who's not on this, he was kind of like a Harlem leader figure in the neighborhood who stood up to the mob. And he's this jacked black guy. He's actually really cool. He looks really cool. He can control energy, and he can teleport himself and people short distances. You have Reload, he's a Vietnam War veteran, and he worked in a coal mine. And his power is that he can control time, but only split seconds of time in his immediate vicinity. Now, that sounds like the stupidest power of all time, but he realized that he can actually shoot one bullet 300 times. so he's actually very deadly. That's why he's called Reload. I think he's got one of the coolest costumes too. You have Stray, who I thought this was a fuck up, because Stray should have been experimentations by the Japanese in World War II. In what was it, Unit 83 or something? No, instead it's American experimentations done in Japan in the 90s. And when the United States abandoned that secret lab, she kind of survived in the lab until the Immortal Man found her. You have the Immortal Man himself, who was a caveman. You have his sister, whose name I keep forgetting, who's the bad guy. She's the antagonist. And then you have Timber, who I feel like was supposed to be Miss Marvel. She's basically Paul Bunyan. And actually, he says at a certain point that the folklore of Paul Bunyan was twisted. It was actually about her. Instead of Babe and the big blue ox, it's actually Babe, her blue axe. She's gorgeous, by the way. The art is beautiful in all of these. She in particular is really, really cute. But so I can forgive the fact that he said something like the prejudices of man of the times twisted the folklore or something. He says this. He made some stupid reference. I was like, come on, JT4, you can't help yourself, can you? But whatever. But the character herself, Timber, is actually a really cool character. Although her origin story, you could tell that he had to constantly rewrite it because it makes no sense. It's one of the pages that I fucking hate, and it's something I hate about John Tynion the Fourth, or James Tynion the Fourth. I think it's James Tynion the Fourth. But anyway, whatever. So, regardless of that, though, we also have the Batman Who Laughs, who I feel like he threw him in there. JT4 threw him in there because the Batman Who Laughs has become a major kind of fan favorite. He plays no role in this. He gives the Immortal Man's sister the House of Conquest. He gives the House of Conquest kind of the supplies and the equipment that it needs to help kind of conquer the Earth. But that's about it. It's I don't know. He was just it was just stupid. It just felt like cheap fan service that nobody cares about. But issues 4 and 5 were great. There's actually a spoiler on the fucking cover of issue 5. But issues 4 and 5 were fantastic, and this is, like I said, it changed my entire opinion on this. This is the kind of stuff that we need more of, because also it's $2.99. You can't go wrong with this. If you read up to issue 4 and don't like it, you're not gonna like the rest of it. Forget it. Don't worry about it. But you can spend $12 and you're gonna get a really actually good story. But the other thing I don't like about this is that these New Age of Heroes, he's telling a very big sweeping story, and it's a very important story. But what are you gonna do after issue 6? Because it seems like it's gonna end at issue 6. do you just kind of fold it? Are they gonna have X-Men adventures where they have these 2 to 3 issue story arcs where they, have these like they fight just regular superheroes? You can't really with these guys, Or do you do the Inhumans thing where you pretend it's a franchise for a long time and then finally just say fuck it, end it? So that kind of sucks because I feel like this could have been like really really good, especially with the way Justice League is going. I'm not too sold on Justice League. I got full disclosure. I gotta reread issue 3, and I gotta read issue 4 and 5. I heard 5 sucked, and I'm actually really worried about that. And JT4 is on that one too. So I don't know. JT4 is just very hit or miss. The story itself is really good. He stumbles a lot, especially in the early issues, but it seems like he's got the juice now. He knows exactly what he's doing. So this is definitely a recommend. It's a really good series. Especially with the way X-Men is going right now, I would love, kind of like the way like Sideways is like, oh, thank God we have Sideways because Spider-Man sucks right now, and thank God we have Damage because Hulk sucks right now. Thank God we have the Terrifics because Fantastic Four does not look like it's going to do well. Thank God we have the Immortal Men because X-Men is horrible. So, let me know what you guys think. Like, share, and subscribe. Have you read the Immortal Men? Did you give up before issue 3 like I was going to? I hope you didn't. Stick with it. At least read issue 4. Issue 4 is really, it picks up a lot at issue 4. And also, you follow me at Trajan Channel on Twitter. I'm doing a poll. I want to know what people think the worst recent era of Marvel Comics is. Because I have a theory, I'm going to do a video on it, that Marvel Now is actually the worst. Marvel Now was 2012 to 2014. I think Marvel Now is actually the worst. But Marvel All New, All Different gets people angry. People have this visceral reaction against Marvel All New, All Different that they don't have for Marvel Now. So I want to know, and kind of Marvel Legacy, just everybody's kind of lukewarm on. So I really want to know what you guys think about that. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Please read The Immortal Men. It's actually really good. Start with this issue.